Dr. Wood, author of the book Miracles in Minutes, and today's live video is on building self-confidence. So confidence, con, with, fidel, faith, or belief within self. So in our minds, there is a ongoing courtroom drama that most people are not familiar with. And this courtroom drama is the courtroom of the mind. And what it has to deal with is there is a inner critic that is always accusing you or others of certain fallacies of thought or beliefs that typically from the age 0 to 7 we could not defend ourselves. People said things to us, or a small child made up a story of a meaning of what an event meant. So it's not what happened, it is the meaning assigned to it. Okay, so let's just talk about this exercise here. Okay, how can you have confidence in yourself if in the back of your mind you have a running narrative? Narrative? What narrative, Dr. Wood? What are you talking about? There's a voice back there that just keeps talking to you. It's chattering. It's not you. You think it's you. It's like blah, 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 blah. You're going to get a sheet of paper, okay? And there's going to be some statements. So it's, I am, ... I am stupid. I am ugly. I am, like, just write it. Do not filter it. Do not filter. Do not make it, try to make it look pretty on this paper. Just write down, I am, and then write down all those things that you're saying. Because as soon as you say I am, you become that. That's the way the nervous system works. As soon as you declare that's who you are, the body goes, okay. See, if I declare I'm going to raise my right arm, it goes up. I told it to. As soon as you say I am, or I am not good enough. I am not lovable. I am not worthy of love. Okay? I can't ... I always mess up. I can never get anything right. You know, look at those statements. This is what you're saying to yourself. Boy, aren't you really nice to yourself today? You're the worst critic you ever had. We all are. And I'm just making you aware of the chatter that's going on in your head so you can get it out of your head and on paper. Okay? So when you go to war, because this is like warfare, or you want to defend the client, yourself, against this person who's accusing, or you know what, you're not good enough. I know it. Like you'll hear this voice saying you're not good enough and da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. If you just accept it and agree with it, you have just eviscerated yourself. And what you'll do is you're going to put on a false skin, called an ego, and now pretend you are. I'll just dress myself up enough. Maybe if I get myself pretty enough. Maybe if I get a new boyfriend, I'll be good enough. Maybe if I get a new job, I'll be good enough. Maybe, shoulda, coulda, woulda, houlda. So then it starts to become very disingenuous. It's not authentic. It's not real. You're going to put a lot of effort into proving to the accuser who's accusing you of, I am not good enough. I am not lovable. You're going to try to prove that you are. Then when you try to go out and prove that you are, you wind up validating the false belief that you are not lovable. So it sounds like this. You're a small child. You went to say hi to your dad and it just seems like you can never connect with your father. And you said to yourself, my dad does not love me. I must not be lovable. So then the whole life you're spent trying to please guys, do get pretty enough, do this and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And every time it goes in relationships, it always doesn't work out and goes, I guess I'm not lovable enough. So it's a vicious cycle. Now, write it all down. I just want to show you, why do so many relationships fail? It's because of all this bullshit in our own garbage in our own heads. We bring that into every relationship. And then we wonder why it doesn't work out. Or we blame our partners. Oh, you're the one who made me feel this way. You did it to me. Like, you need to look at your psychology. You're doing it to yourself. What do you want to do here? You can judge yourself that this has been going on, Or you could do the loving thing and say, you know what, I'm going to forgive myself. Why? What's the reason? Because you're going to need a reason to forgive yourself. Are you human? Are you a human being? Yes? No. If yes, human beings all make mistakes. Every one of them. Agree or disagree? Agree. All humans make mistakes. Are you human? Yes. Guess what you're going to make? Mistakes. What do you want to do? Punish or forgive? If you had a small child, what are you going to do? Beat the hell out of the 2-year-old for making a mistake? Or are you going to forgive the child and coach them and parent them and love them so they figure it out? What are you going to do? This is a very important question at this right here. You have to ask, am I a human being? Yes. Do humans make mistakes? Absolutely. Do I want to join the human race? Yes. Am I okay being human that makes mistakes? Yes. Do you want to forgive yourself? Yes or no? Only you can choose that question there. Now, let's talk about a little bit more about the I am not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm stupid, or whatever it is. That's the charge. Okay? So don't forget, this is the charge in the courtroom. You're not good enough. Then counsel or the accuser then brings the evidence. Your brain already found it. Remember the time you did this. Remember the time you did that. Remember the time you did this. Remember the time you did that. Let me show you all your memories. Let me show you every time you messed up. Let me show you every time you messed up in a relationship. See? See the evidence? What saith you? Okay. Now, what you're looking for is one piece of evidence. Just one. That controverts every bit of that other evidence. Or is it you're a human being and you make mistakes? And that's okay. It's part of the learning process. Agree or disagree? When a baby was first born, did they know how to use a spoon? No. Did they make mistakes? Yes. Beat the hell out of the kid for not using the spoon right? Or love them anyway and help them learn how to use the spoon? Love them anyway, help them learn how to use it. That's what I do. So if you're kind, that's what I would do. How are you any different when you're older? You're not. You still like that little baby. Here's something new. I have no idea what it is. I'm going to mess it up. Judge or forgive and love. And look to get it, to learn how to do this. This is learning how to deal with the learning curve, or we might call it failure, or the learning lessons in life. Where is there evidence? I always mess up. Okay? Always. Never. Those are absolutes. You always mess up? Always? Always? Is there one time you didn't mess up? Sure. Look at that. And then ask yourself, is that statement, if I always mess up, is that true or not? Do you have evidence to the contrary? I do. So this is how you start to build self-confidence. You got to write it down. It has to be written down. You'd be surprised how much crap's in your head. You'd be surprised how many different ways you condemn, judge yourself, belittle yourself, criticize yourself. We are our own worst critics. It's always been known. How many different philosophers have always said it? We found the enemy. It's us. It's ourselves. The inner critic of putting our own selves down. So also when someone else says something to us and we get a trigger and we go off, actually that trigger that went off in you, just realize one of the own criticisms you have of yourself. Most of the time, not always, but most of the time. Take a look at that and then write it out. Why was I triggered by that? What do I think about myself here? How did this other person disturb my countenance and my peace? So once you start handling that, you start to become like Superman on the inside. Like nothing bothers me anymore. Like I'm cool with me. I like me. I've forgiven myself. I thought these things about me, but they weren't true. I just used to say them to myself and I never took a look at it. Now that I took a look at how I was thinking, I was looking at what I was saying about myself, no wonder I feel down. How can I not feel down if I tell myself I'm a piece of shit every day? you're no good, you're no good, you're no good, you're no good. Like this always running in the back of your mind, you're no good. Like, okay, all right. You can't be happy. It's impossible. You know, that's running 80% of the time. So they know that the mind's like this. Is called ants, automatic negative thoughts. If you're not tending your garden, what does it mean? Have you looked at how you're thinking, what you're thinking, and asked yourself, is this true or not? I recommend the book, The Voice of Knowledge by Don Miguel Ruiz. He talks about the inner critic. He talks about that. There's another thing that goes on. It's called a story. We make up stories about people of who they are. So we got to get them to fit into our life and our heads. We take a person, pull them out of character, out of context, and we make them a character in our mind, and they fit this story, this running narrative of how they're supposed to be, how they're supposed to act, what they should do, what they should say, and when they should say it. Just basically hijack their life, but it's the story. This is all part of that running inner voice in our mind and the inner dialogue. So as Dr. Wood, this is how you start to build your confidence. Look, you have to write it down though. You have to write it down and just observe it. Don't judge you could judge yourself if you want to. Or you go, wow, that's pretty fascinating what I've been saying to myself. Wow, that's fascinating what I've been saying to myself. I don't believe that anymore about me. And I choose to think something else about myself today. Write in something positive. And then go do it. Dr. Wood, have a great day.